just about sailing July 2020, just in July, just managed to get there. This one is all about varnishing. I've been doing lots of other bits and pieces, so there'll be another video coming out soon. But I thought I'd stick to the kind of varnishing this. So this is just about sailing. My name is Paul, the other character you'll be meeting, and this is my daughter, Lucy, and yeah, lots of varnishing work. These washboards, which I've now finished, I've used a variety of different varnishes. They're all from International, and just for the sake of it, I did this top one in 2-pack International Perfection Plus, the bottom one in Standard Compass, I think it was. I've done some of this type of wood using wood skin, and what I normally say at the beginning of these videos is that this is not really a how to do it type of DIY channel. It's just DIY stuff I'm doing to my boat. I really don't know that much about varnish, so if you think I'm doing something wrong, and I'm sure I'm doing lots of things wrong, do leave a comment below. Don't worry about being critical or anything. Put a comment below, and if you are thinking of doing some varnishing, do read the comments below, because I'm sure I've got lots, and I did have some problems as I went on. So this was my job, to do the outside stuff. I still need to finish this off a little bit because I'd forgotten there should be a little spacer on the clasp there, so I need to do that. Inside, what me and Lucy decided to do was an experiment to see if we could get away with, rather than taking everything back to bare wood, doing a maintenance coat, doing a sanding, and then putting on a couple of layers of compass, which is glossy, followed by one layer of what's it called? It's the satin one, gold spar, is it? I show it later. So anyway, and that's what we're going to start with Lucy doing the inside work, me doing the outside work. And the first thing that Lucy did was to sand down a tiny little bit just underneath the galley so that we could use it as an experiment and see if that was going to be a goer or not. There's a tack cloth. If you go over it, just scrunch it up and go over it briefly with a tack cloth. And then I think what we'll do is give it a quick wipe over with No. 1 thinners. That'll do. Don't press it too hard. It's mainly to pull the dust off. But I don't know what order you're supposed to do this in. It's probably best to do this for, I don't know. I've got no idea.
Nobody knows. Should I have got a separate brush for the thinners?
No, it's just wipe it on like you would acetone. But I can't remember. I vaguely remember.
Did the nail polish come off?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
You're not sure?
No. Should I do this? No. Is this safe? No.
You are the worst workplace supervisor.
Thank you. Oh. I can't believe you're doing that without gloves on. We haven't got any, they're down. Go and keep doing it, otherwise it'll evaporate. Acetone would certainly take nail varnish off, I don't know. That's basically naphtha.
Shining, na 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 na. I can't, I'm too shining. Do you have a bin bag?
Yeah, I do. It's in here.
Do we care about under there?
No, not really.
Wait, shall I do that just for like?
Well, you can if you want, but you're not going to be that sloppy, are you? You're not going to just throw the paintbrush at the paintbrush through.
Jackson Pollock. No? Is that not what we're going for with the varnishing?
I'm sure there's a Jackson Pollock boat somewhere.
Right, now I need gloves, don't I?
Yeah, whilst that's still flashing off.
I want to go with the grain, but this is going to be tricky in here.
Just see what works. I mean, I would suggest not putting it on too thickly, but I really don't know. It is a question of seeing what works.
Okay, we'll try and do a finish.
And it is only a small piece, so. Because you could probably finish the sanding in, what, a couple of days?
Yeah, this didn't take me very long at all. And it's going to be super hot next week,
yeah.
So that's happy varnish time.
Yeah, I'll get the washboards finished next week. And then once this is sanded, I can finish, if this works and it's just sanding, I can finish off the galley. I can start the galley. Yeah.
Can that be closed off?
That can be closed off, and I will use that.
It looks like honey. Can you write not honey or something on it?
You like honey?
I like honey.
Right, so for whatever reason Lucy has trusted me with this second part. I put a second coat of the shiny stuff on and rubbed it down, cleaned it off, and now I'm going to put Gold Spar Satin, just the top coat. This is not UV resistant, but it gives a bit of a matte finish apparently. So we will see how this goes. It looks thick and gloopy, but it actually goes on quite nicely. Right, so that's that. Let's see what happens there. I might as well take the tape down. Yeah, so Lucy sanded that with 180. Put on one coat. We let it dry for a half day. I then put on another coat of Compass, International Compass. Let it dry for 2 days. Sanded it down. I actually sanded it down with 320. And then put on a coat of Gold Spar Satin. And it's lovely and smooth. A couple of little bits where it's not perfectly smooth, but it looks very smooth. And it's a really nice satin finish.
Looks beautiful.
So the idea was to do a maintenance coat, which we've done, and so now we're going to decide what of the rest of the boat to do, and hopefully and you get the bits of patina poking through, but you get a lovely, lovely finish. Very happy with that. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very happy.
Surprising for us.
Extremely surprising. So was that beginner's luck, or can we, i.e. Lucy, repeat it? And it's really easy. Switch it on. Are we recording? Yes, we're recording. Right, so what we're going to do now, based on that success, is Lucy has, hold it in your hand, Lucy's going to put she was going to put little blue stickers on all the bits that needed doing, but as we started doing it, what she didn't realise is I want pretty much all of it doing. So now we're going to put tape on the bits that don't need doing. But I'm not sure you'll even need 3 bits of tape. See, what happens is I give Lucy a bar of chocolate as a reward for this, and I decided against my better judgment to give her a bar of chocolate before she started it. So now you're indebted until I decide.
I am. I shouldn't have taken the chocolate.
No, see, that's the difference between a reward and a bribe. You give a bribe before the thing and a reward afterwards. So, yeah. Mind you, it's a lot better than taking it all back down to bare wood, isn't it?
That is true.
Because that how long did that take you to do that bit underneath the cooker?
What, the sanding?
The sanding.
Barely half an hour.
So if you
That's
think
'cause I was
about
being
it,
lazy.
do you think this is a week's worth? Even if you did everything? I'm not going to ask you to do everything, but
I mean, it is a very hot week
It
this
is a very
week,
hot
so
week.
maybe not. Maybe 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay, that's still pretty good. Right,
Doable.
switch the camera off and start putting bits of sticky stuff. Actually, there's not many bits that don't need
Yeah,
sanding.
what?
Are you looking at it now? There's really not many bits that don't need sanding. That we've discovered the success. This doesn't need sanding. Put a bit of
There we
sticker on there.
go.
There you go.
There we go.
That's shallot. Right, let's get on with this. Right, so just clean this, and what I want to do, I want to experiment with one of these foam brushes that I'm not using before. The naphtha is just kind of flashing off, you can see that. So on the other side, it was 2 or 3 coats of clear epoxy, and at the moment I think it's got 4 or 5 coats of varnish which has been applied by a brush. This side it's got 2 or 3 coats of epoxy, and I'm going to do several coats of Compass polyurethane, which is what I'm using pretty much everywhere, and see if there's a difference in it. I don't think it makes a huge amount of difference, but might as well have a go at these because it might make it easier on the inside, doing the stuff on the inside. Don't know, it seems weird using it. Anyway, no idea how this is going to work. Feels She feels slightly nicer than putting it on with a brush. Or does it? Not so sure. I know. It's swelteringly hot. It's 33 degrees centigrade, which is very hot for England. We've cleared everything out, or pretty much everything out, so that Lucy can start to do the sanding, and then we are going to, either her or me, because she's been on furloughed now, so I've got less time from her, we'll actually do the varnishing and repeat our success from this little bit, see if that was just a fluke or not. Right, so it's a very windy day, so I've got the camera inside. I'm going to do, this has got 5 coats of, so it's 2 coats of, 2 or 3 coats, can't remember which, of epoxy, 5 coats of normal 1-pack varnish done with a brush. I am going to do another coat, because if you look at this from some angles, it looks absolutely fine, and in fact I love the patina, I love the sort of the antiquing effect, but if you look at it from other angles, and I don't know if I'm catching this right, you can really see the brush strokes. So what I'm going to do is to give this one last rub down with 320, and then I'm going to put another coat on with quite a bit more thinners, because it's quite hot and I think it's drying very quickly. But wow, that's a really thick, luscious. Even if I stopped at that, that would be fine, but I'm not going to. It's always a bit weird when you've got a lovely finish to actually get your sandpaper out. But here we go, here's some 320 on this. I'm using number 1 thinners, which is correct for this. I've got no idea how much to put in, so I'm going to put probably too much, but an amount in so it feels nice and thin. I mean, it is thinners, isn't it? So. Difficult to describe that consistency. It's a bit like thinned varnish. I don't know. I guess it's like maple syrup. Yeah, very slightly thinner maple syrup. Oh yeah, that feels nice going on. Right, so I think you can see the brush strokes there with the way the reflection is. And I'm hoping that they will kind of disappear and flatten out a little bit. Just a quick aside, by the way, I put in this solar extractor fan ages ago and it's just done its thing. It's got a battery in it so that any excess sunlight gets stored, so it can run a little bit at night, and when I come in it's simply burbling away and doing its stuff. I mean, it's a little bit noisy, as you can hear, but given my very, very low expectations of it, I'm really chuffed with it, really pleased, very surprised, because I thought I'd have to put a separate, ouch, it doesn't really hurt, I thought I'd have to put a separate battery and charger and things and run it off of a different fan, but it just seems to work, so very happy with that. Right, so here's the next varnish experiment. I'm going to try some wood skin, which is kind of a combination, looks like gravy actually. I put it into this container. Perhaps I should try gravy as well as a comparison test. This is sort of half oil, half varnish, and I'm going to try it on some of the teak bits. And I'm going to start off by using the flag post, which I have sanded down and cleaned. And then I've also wiped it down, wiped the dust off using acetone, because it is quite an oily wood. So I've got no idea how this is going to go on. It's thinner than I thought. I was expecting something a lot thicker. and see how this goes. I'm not sure that a traffic cone is the best thing. No idea if I've done the right thing here or not. As I say, no biggie if it's not. It's certainly shiny at the moment, but then again it is still wet. I think this stuff takes ages to dry. So as I say, I'm going to read the technical data sheet, see what I need to do next, and see if I want to do it on the other bits or not. Right, so just come in, see how Lucy's is doing, because it's raining outside and she's not doing anything. Literally just sitting down.
On a break.
On a break. When did you start? 5 minutes ago?
Like at least 8.
So. Loads of stuff going on. It's still very dusty. You haven't de-dusted it yet, have you? No.
Can you tell?
If you hoover it, I'll go over it with the acetone or the naphtha or whatever.
It's no problem.
Excellent. You enjoying it? Take that as a maybe. It'll be good when you finish it.
I've already eaten the chocolate. That is my payment for it, so I have to do it now.
Tip: if you're paying your galley staff, your below deck staff in chocolate, make sure you give them the chocolate after they've done the job, not before. I made that mistake last time. I made that mistake. Right, I should get out your face. I'm not varnished. I'm not sanding because I'm not going to do it outside. So
That's fair.
I've put that away. Oh, I shall put another coat of varnish on the flagpole. That's what I shall do.
Yes.
Right.
I think I'm going to do this today. That back bit there, that's fine, right? We didn't put a blue thingy on it, but that's alright. It looks alright to me.
We can probably take it out, actually. I don't know if I'm even going to use it.
Okay, alright.
Right, so I've put 4 coats of wood skin on this, and I am very happy with the result. Very, very happy with the result of that. So there's not very many other bits of teak, so I'm going to do all the outside bits with which have got teak with this stuff. Yeah, pleased with that. Went on easily, no sanding, nice sort of shiny but satiny finish, brings out the grain of the wood. I have finished sanding down and cleaning off this top washboard. I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but over the grills I've put some blue tape, because before the epoxy kind of spilt through, and I think it's easier. It was, well, anyway, we'll see if that works. It's a pain having to do these grills, so I'm going to do the easy side first, and I'm going to use this stuff. It's called Perfection Plus, and what did their marketing department think they were doing? They've set themselves a fairly high bar, so it's a 2-part, and it'd be interesting in about 10 years time. There'll be another video to show whether the upper washboards or the lower washboards, this is the upper one, have fared the better. I put 6 coats on the single pack. I think I'm probably only going to put 4 on this one. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. Anyway, I just couldn't resist having a go at doing it. So right, let's get on and varnish this.
So officially I don't know if I need to wear a mask, but the stuff smells horrible, and I've got the dual filters, one for the particles and the other one for VOC, so I thought I might as well, because it does smell horrible.
Right, so Lucy's flying along. She's done all this bit, done most of this sort of once over. She's asked me I need to take off these fittings and bits and pieces that we don't need, and some of the trim, which is going to get done separately, and I think a couple more days and she will have done it, and then I can get started on the galley. Well, first impressions are favourable. That's just the first coat, so obviously I'm going to do more, so it's not perfect. I've decided I'm going to actually sand it down between each coat, because it doesn't take an awful lot longer, and yeah, I think this is probably clearer. There is or is that my imagination? There is a sort of a slight yellowish tint to the single pack, but this is this kind of feels and looks very much like the epoxy did, that sort of clear glass finish. But anyway, sand this down. Put another 4 or 6, I don't know. I'll probably be tempted to do 6 to be quite honest, which I'm sure is too many. Can you ever have too many? I don't know. Right, bit of a disaster putting on the first coat of the 2-pack. I've done the other side and it was fine. I've done 6 coats on that, but something went wrong. I think it was reusing a brush that I hadn't cleaned properly, so I'm sure it's my fault. But it's gone very, very bobbly. It's not dust. I think it's bits of half-cured varnish. I don't know what's gone on there. So, for somebody like me who's not a great fan of varnish, I think the single pack stuff is just so much easier, so much better. But I'm going to sand this down and hopefully it's all perfectly recoverable. I think you can see it there. It's really horrible. There's lumps of sort of uncured. Now I've left this so it's deliberately bad. There were little tiny speck dust type lumps of cured varnish which came out like little bits of plastic, and although I cleaned the brush as thoroughly as I do with normal varnish, and I did it in the right thinners, which is number 9 in this case, I think I was actually putting little dusty plasticky specks on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up each batch separately, and I'm going to use a disposable foam brush. When I tried the foam brushes before with the normal varnish, I didn't really notice a difference in terms of putting it on, and I don't like throwing things away. I'd rather clean the brushes between times, but starting with a clean brush or a clean foam pad each time, that's what I'm going to do now, see if that makes a difference. Put comments below if you know more about this stuff than I do, but yeah, so far I'm liking the finish on the 2-pack stuff, but I'm not really liking the application of it. But yeah, this is really the first time I've tried it, so there we go. Now sure, there are a few little dots on there, but there are far fewer than before, so I don't know. I don't like the sponge so much. It might be worth sacrificing a brush. I think I'm going to use a brush for the next coat and then see how it goes. So I will see you again when I've done all 6 coats, which might be the next video because we're getting towards the next end of the month now. And I do get a video out each month, good or bad. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. I don't have experience of this, but that seems to be a lot better. Not perfect, but a lot better. Right, so I'm continuing to do the outside varnishing. So I'm taking these instruments off and I'm going to do these side bits. I was worried about getting too much sun on the varnish, so what I've done is I put up this shade thing, which is, I don't know if you can see that, I'll show you a view from behind the boat. So I put up this umbrella shade thing, which is what I used to use before I got the habitat, and it's actually great. It's great for keeping the sun off, and also, although it's mainly to keep the sun off, it did rain a little bit today and it wasn't supposed to, so I'm just going to keep that up for the next few days and get that bit of varnishing finished, and hopefully the outside varnish will be done very shortly. So Lucy has finished the sanding and she's vacuumed. I'm going to finish off and do some cleaning with the acetone. So this is all nicely sanded down, ready for us to do exactly what we did there, which was 2 coats of compass followed by a coat of gold spar. I'm not going to show that work, and I'm probably going to do that, in fact I'm certainly going to do that after I've finished doing the galley, because obviously I'm going to be getting dust and doing things here, so that's but that's a fairly quick job. She's literally done the bulk of it, which is the sanding down, so very happy about that. So there we go, that's a slow old job. 24 days in total to do just the varnishing on the washboards that I did. In the meantime, I've dug a hole to do the rudder, got the chain out to do the anchor locker, taken the guardrails off, the grab rails off, which are going to need remaking. I was hoping to just varnish them. and a few other bits and pieces, but I'll show that in a video soon. So that's it for July. Just made it into July, and hopefully there'll be another one coming out fairly soon because I've shot some stuff. And hope you're well. Comments below. As I say, don't copy what I did, but if you do know better, please do leave a comment below, and I shall see you in the next video. Cheers, bye.